First, this is Dan Drusky for the updating of the VHS and books just for December 20th of 2020. And this is the stuff I got in the mail. This one of the few stuff I got in the mail. Some of the stuff I got in from the thrift store this week at the Goodwill. Yep. And it's been like a crazy week last week because on account of the snow. Ever since it started on Wednesday when it was snowing the whole day, and then we got like specifically 10 feet of snow. Very lucky we didn't get 20. But in New York, it's the same height as here in Pennsylvania. Yep. By Thursday on Christmas Eve, it's gonna melt. It's gonna go up into like upper 40s and low 50s, and Christmas Day is gonna be 42. Yep, are you ready for Christmas, my YouTubers? Okay. Let's begin with some VHS tapes I got from this week at the Goodwill. This is a tape I got, the workout tape called Every Day with Richard Simmons. And it's a Carl and Limbar home video release. In 1986, this program was 1985. It's only a 90-minute tape. This tape is not exactly the original. This is a reprint. It was printed on September 8, 1989. I like these workout VHS tapes. The next one we have here, that is Backtrack in 1990. That stars with Dennis Hopper and Jodie Foster. This is the 1992 director's cut by Dennis Hopper. Dennis Hopper stars and directed this movie. Also co-stars with John Vittorio, the one from Do the Right Thing. Also had Dean Stockwell. He was a son of the singer of Harry Stockwell he does the voice of the Prince Charming in Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. Also, Dean Stockwell was in Married to the Mob in 1988. Fred Ward, the one from the Third Naked Gun, as an escaped convict, and he was in Prince of Pennsylvania. And the legendary Vincent Price was in this movie too. Yep, and he did those horror movies in the 1950s. And even in the 40s when he was a character actor. Even with some films he did with Gene Tierney during the 1940s. And other people were in it too, like Joe Pesci. That following year he did Goodfellas. Yep. And Home Alone that same year. And also Tony Sirico. One later he became the role of Paulie Walnut on the TV show of The Sopranos. All 86 episodes. And this is the Vestron video release. It was a Vestron video release in 1991. It was probably distributed by Live Entertainment. Gotta be from Family Home Entertainment distribution. Yep. Here's what the sticker label looks like. Yep. And print date. Hold on. It was printed on February 8, 1992. The next tape that we have, that is Who Murdered Joy Morgan. It stars with Kim Basinger. This is is the Youngkin bass singer, and this is a television movie. Was made in the 1970s. Was probably made in the late 1970s or early 70s, and this is released on VHS in 1991 for Matrix Entertainment, and it was recorded and brought on LP, EP, or something like that. No print date on that? Yep. The next one we have here, that is one of the Disney tapes I found. The ones came out back in the 1990s. This is the early 1995 VHS release of Disney's The Lion King, part of the Disney's Masterpiece collection. Yep, Hakuna Matata. My favorite characters I like in The Lion King. And it says the greatest wonder of all by the Los Angeles Times. I saw this in the movies back in early August in 1994 when it was released. The Lion King was so popular, they released the album, and also they made a cartoon show of Timon and Pumbaa. The great Nathan Lane does the voice of Timon. Now here's like this tape looks like. On this tape has the previews for Cinderella was reissued on home video, Angels in the Outfield, Pocahontas coming out in theaters, and the Aristocats coming to home video. And here comes the print date. It was printed on January 25th, 1995. I was only 10 years old at the time when I was starting to like Blockbuster videos back in Queens, New York. Now here's something I got from eBay this week, and that is one of the hard to find children's tapes. And I pay a little extra money. Then here's the third Bugs Bunny movie. Bugs Bunny's third movie, 1001 Rabbit Tales. That was after when the Bugs Bunny Roadrunner movie was released in 1979, and Looney Bugs Bunny movie was the second film in the series in 1981. Then after that it was Daffy Duck's movie Fantastic Island as a fourth film, followed from the 1001 Rabbit Tales in 1983, and finally the Daffy Duck's Quackbusters in 1988. Those are exact 5 Looney Tunes feature films starring the voices of Nell Blanc. This is the early 1983 release, yep. And in this movie, Bugs and Daffy were book salesmen, and they had to go all over the place to sell books. Like the books they are selling from the book company called Rambling House, referring to Random House. They were selling the books called 1001 Tales for Toddlers. Yep. Bugs Bunny was forced to read the stories to the Sulk and Sam's bratty son, Prince Abadabra. Yep. And did you know the character of Prince Abadabra is referring to the character named Junior from the 1958 Warner Bros. Cartoon short called Raggedy Tail, something like when he dreams, bad dreams when he turns into a dog? Yep. One of the cartoon shorts were shown in this movie, like just cartoon shorts like Tweety and the Beanstalk, Alibaba Bunny, One Foggy Evening, Goldie Mouse and the Three Cats, Hansel and Gretel when they had Hazel Witch in there. Yep. So many cartoon shorts were shown in there. They don't even have the three little box. They were shown in the Looney Bugs Bunny movie in 1981. And 99 Bugs won an Academy Award for Best Cartoon Short of 1958, directed by Free Feeling. I like these Warner Bros. Cartoons because Nell Blanc does providing the voices. Yep. And the sticker label of this tape was early 1983. I have another copy of the 1001 Rabbit Tales on VHS. But do not worry, we'll be showing that probably for the future YouTube videos. Now we got one of the Disney tapes I got yesterday at the Goodwill. That is the 1960s Pollyanna, starring with Harry Mills, Jane Wyman, Carl Walton, Atlas Moorhead, and Adolph Menjor. And this is the early 1993 release of the Walt Disney Studio Collection series. And I have a copy copy of Pollyanna I have on VHS in the Neon Mickey doesn't have the Walt Disney U promo. That was a 1985 reissue, but the tape I have is a 1986 without the Walt Disney U promo. And this is why I'm selling this copy of Pollyanna on eBay. This is printed it on approximately December 8, 1992, and it has no previews at the beginning. Here's another Disney tape I have. Sequel from part of the Herbie the Love Bug film series is Herbie Rides Again, the second one of the Herbie the Love Bug series, after it's left off with the original Love Bug with Dean Jones and David Tomlinson in 1969. After Herbie Rides Again was made in 1974, they made other Herbie films in the series. Herbie Goes to Monte Carlo with Dean Jones and Don Knotts in 1977, and Herbie Goes Bananas, my favorite one, in 1980. And this tape was printed on August 13th, 1993. And I have Herbie Rides Again on VHS, part of the Walt Disney's The Neon Mickey tape series. And also for Herbie Rides Again, it stars with the great Helen Hayes, the one she was in those old movies in the 1930s, and she was in another Disney movie like The Candle Shoe in 1977 with Jodie Foster. And Ken Berry was in another Disney film like The Cat from Outer Space. Sophia Powers, she was in another Disney film in the 1970 Boatniks. John McIntyre, he was the deputy sheriff he played in Psycho in 1960. He was around the old films in the 1930s and 40s. And don't forget, Keenan Wynn plays the role for Alonzo Hawk for the third time. That same Keenan Wynn played Alonzo Hawk in other Disney films like with Fred McMurray in Absent-Minded Professor in 1961 and Son of Lover in 1963. Other Disney films Keenan Wynn did in the 1970s, Snowball Express 1972, and the sequel from the Shaggy Dog to Shaggy D.A. in 1976. Also in Herbie Rides Again, you might recognize in the jousting scene, you might get to see Hunts Hall was in it as the judge. The same Hunts Hall plays Sax in the Bowery Boys movies. Yep. And I got something in the mail for this week from eBay. One of the classic Mel Brooks comedies. Like it starts with the 1974's Young Frankenstein. And I'm not gonna keep it, I'm gonna sell it on eBay. Young Frankenstein is one of the funniest movies of all times. And this is the 1988 release of Young Frankenstein. Mel Brooks was not even in it. He directed the movie, starring with Gene Wilder, Peter Boyle, Marty Feldman, Carl Leachman, Terry Garr, Kenneth Mars, Gene Hackman was the blind guy, and Madeline Kahn. And you know, Young Frankenstein did all kinds of stunts from those two Universal horror films, like the original Frankenstein in 1931, and finally Bride of Frankenstein in 1935. This film was in black and white in 1974. That same year, Mel Brooks did Blazing Saddles with Gene Wilder and Madeline Kahn, but I like Harvey Coleman with Hedley Lamar. After all, the Young Frankenstein I have on VHS is the 1981 Magnetic Video Corporation. I bet on the end of this tape has the Mel Brooks collection promo at the end. This comes with the promotion card for those Mel Brooks movies are available on home video from Key Video. Yep. And here's what the label tape looks like. Has no print date. Another Mel Brooks movie I have on VHS, that is History of the World Part 1 in 1981. Starring with Mel Brooks, you know they want to use Richard Pryor for the part in History of the World Part 1, but however, Richard Pryor got badly hurt when he got badly burned, from smoking crack in the early 1980s. At that time, he completed stir crazy when he was with Gene Wilder. Yep, that's why Gregory Hines made his first film debut. And did you know Gregory Hines was an actor and a dancer? That he did the Cotton Club in 1984 and White Nights 1985. Yep, he was a dancer and an actor and choreographer. And this is the 1988 reissue of History of the World Part 1 on VHS. And here's the sticker label looks like. I already have a copy of History of the World on VHS. When it was first released in 20th Century Fox video, that got it from the thrift store in Jamaica back in 2016. Now the last VHS tape I have here, one of the funniest Mel Brooks movies of all times, Spaceballs on home video, yep. Stars and directed Mel Brooks, also stars with John Candy, Bill Pullman, and Rick Moranis. And Dick Van Patten was in it too. And George Wilder, yep. And Spaceballs stole some stuff from those Star Wars movies. Yogurt, known as the Yodi, may the Swartz be with you. Did you know the line "May the Swartz be with you" is referring to "May the Force be with you" from the Star Wars movies? Yep. And this is the early 1988 release from NGMUA Home Video. On this tape has the previews for the George Lucas Widow and Whoopi Goldberg in Fatal Beauty. Has no print date, has no barcode. Seems to be an ex-rental VHS of Spaceballs. And the funniest part I like in the movie, when that guy was eating something at the diner, the alien comes out and he sings the "Hello My Baby, Hello My Honey." I was taken from the soundtrack of the Warner Bros. Cartoon short of One Froggy Even, directed by Chuck Jones in 1955. Now we roll along with some children's books I got from this week at the Goodwill. I got a lot of Care Bears books. The first one we have here, Sweet Dreams for Sally. And you know these Care Bears books were just kind of released in Parker Brothers series in 1983 or to 1984 when the Care Bears were so popular. Sweet Dreams for Sally, I saw it on the VHS tape of the Care Bears Battle of the Freeze Machine when it was released from Family Home Entertainment in the Big Fat Box series. The illustration I like looks beautiful, like you have that on VHS. The next one we have, that is A Friend for Francis. I have it in another Care Bears tape, like the Lamb Out Feelings, 1985 reprint. The 1983 one had the cartoon shorts in the public domain. I love these Care Bears stories. Didn't have the Care Bears cousins until 1985 for the Care Bears movie. The next one we have here, Caring What Counts, based on the TV special The Care Bears Lamb Out Feelings. And this is the one where Kevin receives the bad news that him and his family has to move away from his friend Donna. Yep. And that's why he runs away into like a deserted Lamb Out Feelings. It's been kidnapped by Professor Coldheart. So Professor Coldheart makes him drinks that potion and turns into a lizard. Oh my God. I've seen the Lamb Out Feelings a lot of times. The only thing it didn't have was Frostbite in it, his sidekick. And one of the songs in this special, like Care Bears Care About You, I'm Professor Coldheart, and that song made me cry when I was a kid. That is, Everybody Has Feelings. not the way we have that in there. Well, they wish, well, everybody wishes, I wish we're all in the castle right now, and then it's all up to the Care Bears using the Care Bear stare when they turn these lizards back into like children at the end of the special. Professor Kolar made us run for it and crashed right to the land without feelings. Everything is back to normal again. Did you know the Cloud Keeper was the Cloud Keeper was the Carolot's Cloud Keeper, referring to a housekeeper, keeping the Carolot to be clean. A sister for Sam. Also, I have it in the Land Without Feelings VHS 1985 reprint. These Care Bears books were made by Parker Brothers in the 1980s, and these books are a little hard to find. I love the Care Bears, and I love the original Strawberry Shortcake from the 1980s. The Witch Down the Street, published in 1983. Also, I have the story in the Care Bears Battle, the Freeze Machine, in the 1984 release. I love the Goodwill over in Casona Moore. That's why I found all these Care Bears books recently. Now we're up to the 1984 releases, like The Magic Words, published in 1984. And these Care Bears were not exactly the read-alongs with the chimes when you hear like Tinkerbell. Like these ain't Disney read-along books. Like my favorite ones I like in the Disney read-alongs, the Disney Discovery series. And I like Disney Storytellers, even Bona Vista read-along adventures too. The next one we have, Your Best Wishes Can Come True. That's 1984, by American Greetings Corporation. I love the illustrations of the Care Bears books. Here's the one called Care Bears Battle the Freeze Machine, based on a TV special when it was made in 1984. In this one, Care Bears are back, and they're helping the kid named Paul when he wants to be friends with the bullies, but he didn't want to be friends with the bullies, he wanted to get even. So that's why Professor Kohlhardt overhears it. So he asked why it's him and Assistant Frostbite creates the freeze machine and had to freeze all kids around the neighborhood. There's Assistant Frostbite. Yep. So, also they made a debut for Baby Hugs and Baby Tubs by Graham's Bear, yep. So, after when Care Bears overhears Paul doesn't care, they come down to Earth to help Paul to make feelings with these others. Onto Professor Kohlhardt kidnapped Baby Hugs and Baby Tubs and Paul. They use him for fixing up the freeze machine. So they make Paul to open up the tower, and then, so Care Bears had an idea to outsmart Professor Kohlhardt and Frostbite, and that's why Paul has to get even with Professor Kohlhardt, and that's how the Care Bears bust the freeze machine we made them scared of the wild. Da 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 da. That was at the scene when they were in the playground. And another song it has also by Professor Cole and Frostbite sings, "Put the rays on feelings, thanks to you, and give a lot daytime, anytime, the perfect time I make your friend away." That was the ending song from the Battle of the Freeze Machine. Boy, these two Care specials are just absolutely classics. How I grew up renting it out on VHS back in the days of the video store. Ben's New Buddy. And that's how the Care Bears were popular in the 1980s. They made the Care Bears television show series in 1985, and then 1986 they changed the name into Care Bears Family, when they have the Care Bears cousins from the Fours of Feelings, Braveheart Lion, Treeheart, and Eater's the Playful Lot, something like that. Those are the names of the Care Bears cousins. Finally, I got Care Bears Book of Favorite Bedtime Stories, published in 1984. It's the last one I have, and it has, with non-Care Bear stories, has like other stories, like from the Brothers Grimm, like Little Red Riding Hood. Do you have anything with Snow White in there? Or Pinocchio? There's a duel. Mostly in this story has no Care Bears in it. It's just Care Bears telling the story. There's like the Rapunzel. Yeah. The Shoemaker and the Elves. Boy, look at that. And this is the only Care Bears book that has no Care Bears in the leading role, helping kids when they're feeling depressed or they don't care. That's why it's up to the Care Bears to help. That's mostly non-Care Bears main character, and it mostly from other illustrating stories. And the next one we got here is Walt Disney's Mickey Mouse Cookbook, published by Golden Book in 1973. I think it's 1975. They have all the great past Disney cartoon characters from the cartoon shorts. There's one of the mouses from Cinderella from 1950. And they got Peter Pan and Wendy, and they got the Lost Boys and Wendy, and the alligator from Peter Pan. There's Geppetto from Pinocchio. And the only thing I didn't see was Pinocchio in it. The only thing they didn't have is Bernard and Bianca from the Rescuers, and not even Elliot the dragon from the old Pete's Dragon, because the Rescuers and Pete's Dragon were not made until 1977. Fox and the Hound was not made until 1981. There's Donald Duck, Scrooge McDuck, Huey, Dewey, and Louie, and Pluto. And I like the voice of Scrooge McDuck, played by Alan Young, in the Mickey's Christmas Carol and the DuckTales. There's Pinocchio.